My name is Gayle Harrold, born in Muncie in 1939, and my family first started coming here probably 100 years prior to that. We have records showing them coming in the late 1830s. Beech Grove Cemetery was always important to my family. I have over 50 members buried here, and I can remember from the very young days of my childhood coming here to decorate for Memorial Day. That was always an important day for my parents. The Harrold side of my family, like I say, first came to Delaware County before 1840, but there was a group, the Harrolds, the Adamsons, and the McKimmeys. They were all part of a large group of Quakers that moved together down a trail from Pennsylvania to North Carolina. Then they migrated from there to Tennessee, where my third great-grandfather, Jonathan Barnhart Harrold, 1803 to 1867, was born. He and his wife Elizabeth Parsons, 1810 to 1866, were among the first residents of Monroe Township. I think there are about 20 Harrold relatives buried in Beech Grove, including my grandfather, Clifford Franklin Harrold, 1894 to 1948. The most famous Harrold buried here would be Orville Harrold, 1878 to 1933, the Metropolitan opera singer. He is my second cousin, 3 times removed. However, I was more impressed by being related to his grandson, Tom Harrold, who was Indiana's Mr. Basketball for Muncie Central in 1951. The Kerns are also in my family. My great-great-grandmother, who married a Harrold. There are large numbers of Kerns buried elsewhere, but there are also several of her relatives buried here at Beech Grove. The Kerns moved here from the areas of Virginia that is now West Virginia, and they followed migration through Ohio to Indiana. I'm not sure where my third great-grandmother, Suzanne Adamson, 1806 to 1840, is buried, but she died in Delaware County, and her brother, J.P. Adamson, local businessman, and his wife Emily are buried in the oldest section of Beech Grove. A large obelisk marks their grave. There are 9 Adamsons buried here. Suzanne married James McKimmey, a Quaker farmer. There are at least 16 McKimmeys in Beech Grove, with the latest burial in 1959. Another McKimmey married one of the Baxlas. They were farmers that came from Ohio, and there are at least 8 burials from the Baxla family, with the last one being recorded as recently as 1996. The parents of my paternal grandmother, Margaret Irene Griffith, who was Clifford Franklin's wife, she was born 1896 and died in 1989. Her maiden name was Griffith, and Lawrence's were her family names. They were also from Ohio. My great-grandfather, Merritt Griffith, 1868, 1928, had a barber shop on the corner of 8th Street and Hoyt Avenue. His father, Tillman Ray Griffith, 1845 to 1921, joined the Army at age 18 and was in the Civil War. He returned home to farming before moving to Muncie to live with his children and grandchildren. My great-great-grandfather, James Lawrence, 1845 to 1909, moved here to be near his daughter and grandchildren. His daughter married a Griffith, and between the 2 names there are about 13 burials here at Beech Grove. Burials in Beech Grove include 5 generations: my grandparents, my great-grandparents, my great-great-grandparents, my second great-grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, and shirt-tail relatives, equaling more than 50 verified so far.